Sounds. Thank you so much, Sarah. Good afternoon. My name is Bernita Platt, and I am a consultant with the Myrtle Beach Area Small Business Development Center. Today, you guys are in for a treat. We've got Angela Brewer, which is a business opportunity specialist with the SBA, and she's going to talk about women-owned business certification. This is the third installment in our Ready, Set, Sell series, and we hope that you're able to join us on December 1st to talk more about HUBZones, disabled veteran certifications as well. And what we do at the SBDC is we provide no-cost confidential consulting services to new and existing small businesses. We also offer a number of educational programs just like today, and we also have access to resources. We can help you determine a lender. We can also talk and work with you about your business plans. So if there's anything we can do for you to assist you further with your new or existing small business, please reach out to us and submit a request for consultation on our website. And it's www.scsbdc.com. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to you, Ms. Brewer, and it's all yours.
Thank you so much, Benita. Welcome, everyone. Thank you all for joining us today for our third installment. I'm trying to find my slide, my presentation. For our share screen. Share. Are you all seeing the presentation?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you all for joining us today. As she stated again, my name is Angela Brewer. I am a business opportunity specialist with the South Carolina District Office of SBA. My primary focus or my primary job is to assist small business get certified to do federal contract work. I can't help you get a contract, but I can assist you with getting certified to get a contract. And I can also be the bridge between you and a contracting officer if you are interested in doing a capability brief to different installations. Today's class is going to be on woman-owned certification. If you are a woman-owned small business trying to get certified to become a woman-owned small business with the federal government, we're going to talk about that today. Regulatory compliance. Not all NAICS code, there are 1,001, there are plenty, there are multiple NAICS code that's in the system, but not all NAICS code are authorized to use the WOSB certification program. So there are some certification that the federal government has thought that is not women driven or manned by women. So they made those as woman-owned small business, give you all the extra edge up. We have the WOSB, and the EDWSB, which you must be certified to do. When you go into the beta certified to apply for the certification for woman-owned small business, the first question is going to pop up, do you want to be EDWSB certified? Always check yes. I found this out the hard way because I don't have access to the beta certified system, but in helping a client who called in a few months ago, and she could not submit, the button for submit will not illuminate to submit. Come to find out, if you do not check the box, yes, I want to be EDWSB, you will not be able to move forward. The contracting officer must verify WOSB, EDWSB certification. So once you go through the process or the beta.certified.sba.gov and process and get approved, in DSBS, Dynamic Small Business Search, which is the SBA profile, I will show you that for those who have not been there before. If you go to DSBS, it will have your certification date and your expiration date. Back in 2020, there were some program changes. They had the certified website where you were going through certified.sba.gov in order to register. You only had to, you didn't have to get certified. You just had to upload your documents into a repository. Well, now as of October the 1st, 2020, they came up with the beta.certified.sba.gov. You can no longer do self-certified. So when you're going through SAMs, if you notice when you're going through SAM and it asks you about the different type of certification, The one for woman-owned small business is no longer, you can no longer check that box. You have to wait for SBA to approve your application, and they will certify it in the system. Application will be reviewed by SBA analysts for an in-depth analysis. When your application is approved, SBA will incorporate program participant certification status on the DSBS. Like I stated, once they approve it, they will put it in DSBS. Currently, I'm working with a client. If they will not deny you automatically, they will send you an email if something is wrong and tell you you need to update that. If they send you an email and you're still not certain, or you still have problems with getting it done, or don't understand what they're asking for, always reach out to me. I will give you 30 minutes to an hour, however long it may take us to get that issue figured out. I know the one I'm working on right now is a female and a male partnership. The female has 51% on, the male 49%. But one thing she left out of her operating agreement is that she has managing control, and she is the highest paid in that company. The reason why I'm telling you all this is because if you have not yet gone through or started the process, these are some of the things that they are kicking the application back for. And if there is a partner, please upload everyone who has a partnership, who has 20% or more ownership in that company. Please upload your resume. That was another thing that she did not upload. The male who was in the company, she didn't include his resume. She only included hers. So make sure those things, like I stated, you make sure you say that if you're a partner in a company, you have to show what your title is, whether you're the owner, co-owner, that you are vice president, president, whatever your title is. You must say that you're the managing member. This has to be in your operating agreement. And you must state that you are the highest paid, because you have to be the highest paid, but there is an exception to that. Say, for instance, you run well, I won't say construction, a company, but you need a specialized service, and you don't have that, say IT, you don't have hacking. I just say hacking, or someone who can go into database. You have an IT firm, but you don't have the specialized service that's needed. You can hire someone and they say, okay, I say $80,000. You only making $50,000 or $60,000. You can hire that person. They can be the highest paid, but you have to put in your contract the reason why they are the highest paid, because they have a specialized skill that you do not have. That's the only way SBA will allow that you are not the highest paid in the company. If you hire someone, a project manager or a program manager, that has a skill set that you do not possess in your own. Contracting officer, that's what COs are. Contracting officer will no longer need to request access to firm documents. Declined applicants may reapply within 90 days. Like I was stating, the firm that I'm working with now, who didn't have the managing partner, or she didn't have that she was the highest paid, they gave them a time limit. They gave them till November the 11th, I think, November 11th or 12th, to get this situation situated. But when she reached out to me for assistance, I was off because we had Veterans Day, and that Friday I took off because I hate taking off in the middle of the week and then coming back to work. So I was able to reach out to SBA headquarters, the woman-owned small business program manager, and asked for an extension. They gave me till this Friday, or gave them until this Friday. After I assist them on Monday, they gave them until this Friday to get the necessary documentation, paperwork they needed, and the change they need to happen. If they don't get it in by Friday, they will decline. But before they decline your application, they will send you a discrepancy note, a discrepancy notification, and allow you time to get that corrected. If you don't get it corrected in a allotted time, they will decline, which means you have to wait 90 days after that, after the decline date, in order to reapply. Any questions so far?
I don't see anything in the chat, Angela.
Thank you. Like I stated, in order to apply for the woman-owned small business EDWOSB or WOSB, you have to go to beta.certified.sba.gov. I will encourage you, when you go to the beta.certified, the first thing you do is go to the prepare. Go to the prepare button at the top of the screen. It gives you a listing on EDWOSB and WOSB, a checklist of everything that is required or that you have to upload, because you have to go through the system, answer some questions, and then upload specific documents. Like when you're going through the system, it's going to ask you for business plan. It's going to ask you for your operating agreement. It's going to ask you for licenses. So while you're going through that, while you're going through the checklist process or going through the application process, it's going to ask you for documentation. Go ahead and download the checklist, because the EDWOSB, you have to download taxes if you don't, because they want to make sure that your personal net worth is below $750,000. So you're going to have to upload your taxes. So go ahead and download all those documents that is requested on the checklist to your desktop or in a folder on your computer. So when you're going through the process, you don't have to search for it. That's why you need to go ahead and pull up this listing, both of these listings, if you're going after both certification, and download those, save those documents and put them in a folder. If you need assistance, because like I said, I will allot time for you to, if you need assistance, to contact me. I have my contact information at the end of the screen. It's 3 of us, but I can't speak for my other coworkers, but I will speak for myself. If you send me an email or call me, reach out to me. And if you're having questions, or if for some reason they send your application back or you got denied, you can always reach out to me and I'll be more than happy to set up a team. If you have Zoom, if you want to do Zoom, I will set up a meeting with you, whatever platform you want, and we can walk through the application. I can help you try to figure out what's going on. I have a contact with the WOSB program that I can reach out to, and we can help you with getting the application successful, getting completed successfully. There's also a knowledge base. When you go into the beta certified, there's a knowledge base, which is actually, when you go to knowledge base, then you go to user guide. If you go to the applicant user guide, you can click on the user guide, and there's actually a step-by-step process. They actually, when they was going through the process of creating the app, they actually, filled out the application so you can see what's supposed to go in there. But if you still having trouble, you don't understand after you look at the user guide, like I stated, reach out to me and I'll be more than happy to assist you in any way that I can. Remember, in order to apply for the WOSB, the first thing you must do, you must be registered in SAM. If you have not registered in SAM, and SAM must be updated. SAM has to be updated annually. If you don't have to make any changes in SAM, but you must click through, say today is the November 17th, 2021. They will send you notification. I think it's 60 days out, maybe 30 days out. They will send you notification letting you know that your SAM is expiring. If there have not been any changes, which I hope you grow, so you might add more NAICS code to your SAM portfolio. If there are not any change, you have not done any changes in your over the past year, just click through SAM and save and complete. That's all you have to do. You don't have to make any changes if there are no changes, but it has to be updated annually. If you are expiring or your SAM profile is expired, they will not approve your WOSB. So make sure you keep that updated. The owner, the one who has the woman on small business, must be at least 51%. It can be 2 females, that's 33 and 33, that combine to be 66. It can be 3 females, but whoever has ownership control, they must be the designated person. And each one of you all, if it's 3, each one of you all have to have it was a section. So when the person who's generate the application, they will send you a link for you to do your portion of the application. Also upload your documents, your financials, because if you owe more than 20%, if you own more than 20%, you have to upload your financials and your taxes in there as well. Review the list of required documents. We went over that just a moment ago. Make sure you review the list of required documents before you start the certification process. Any questions? Issue decision on application. Applicant submitted. Once the application is submitted, dashboard will be updated. 15 days after you submit your application, SBA will notify you that your application is complete, not approved, They will let you know that your application is complete, sufficient. That means you have all the documentation that they need, that they require before they can move forward. If you don't have all the documentation that is required, they will send you an email letting you know that you need to get this done. You need to have, get these documents uploaded, and you have 15 days to do that. Then it takes at least another 90 days, calendar days, in order for you to get approved. SBA will make a determination within 90 days. So I know a lot of people tell me, they call me. So whenever they send you an email and they tell you need to update something or you need to add something, that 90 days start over. That 90 day does not start until you have a complete application. So if you start your application today and they send it back to you, and you send it back, once they receive it, they review it again. And if they have to send it back and tell you need something else, your 90 days have not started. Your 90 days does not start until SBA let you know that they have everything they need. And then they would give you have 90 days. Will require 90 days to complete the review and give you a yay or a nay. This is the process of how the application works. You must register in SAM, which you already should be registered in SAM. So if you're on this webinar, that means you're already registered in SAM. You must register in beta, which beta.certified.sba.gov is a portal of its own, which means you have to create a login and password for that portal also. Then you must complete the application. We already talked about submitting an application and checking the document. That's the 15-day time frame. They check the documents. Once they check and verify that everything that is required for the woman-owned small business WOSB, they move on to an analyst because they have somebody in their screening. So once they finish the screening process, they can take up to 15 days. They move on to the analyst. Once the analysts get it, they actually review. They don't review the documents are already there, because the screening person don't review the actual application. They just review to make sure you have all the documents. During the analyst, they make sure that you answered all the questions correctly, that you didn't make no mistake and say no, because I know one lady called. She said she accidentally checked that she was not a U.S. citizen. They rejected her application. So during the analyst process, they make sure everything on the documents is correct, and they make sure the application is correct. Then they send it on for the director to make a decision. At this point, all this happens within, I would say, because you have 15 and 90, that's 105 days. It doesn't say how long the director, because I don't know how many is sitting on the desk, and you have to, if you submit it now, please take into account, we are coming upon holiday season within the next 3 months, 4 months. I think we are approaching, 5, 6 holidays. We have Thanksgiving coming up next week. We got Christmas and New Year's coming up in December. Then we have in January, we have Martin Luther King birthday. And so federal government takes with me saying these holidays, we take the federal government, we have holidays. We have every holiday that's on the calendar, we have off. We have Columbus Day off. We have Veterans Day off. Even if it's in the middle of the week, we do have that one day off. So please take that into account when you submit your application, that we do have federal holidays. And right now we come into the end of the calendar year. If you're like me, you have a lot of use or lose that you have to take. So you have to take that into account also, that during this, we have to use or lose it by the end of the calendar year. So you have to take that into account also. Any questions?
Not in the chat box.
Okay. No one have any verbal question they want to ask? If you do, unmute yourself.
Yep.
Okay. Existing qualified certification. If you are having trouble, you do not have to do this. Like I stated, I am available to assist you, but SBA has vetted is 4 third-party certifiers that can assist you with getting your application done, and it is at a cost. My services are free, but if you decide that you want to use a third-party certifier, they will assist you at a cost. I don't know the cost, but it is at a cost at your own expense to get this taken care of if you decide you want to do this. And I know it's one organization who actually wants you to be a member of their organization, so that's a separate cost of their organization in order to assist. If you already have a designation, like if you're already an 8A firm in the 8A program, they would take that into consideration, and you don't have to do an application. They will approve you based off of being an 8A participant. But you still must upload proof of citizenship. You must have a recent annual review. So if your annual review is not due until, say, January or February next year, 2022, if you are in an 8A program, they will not approve you until your annual review is done and complete. The first year, you must submit the first year, firms must submit their acceptance letter. Beta.certified will not build and hold. So if you are in an 8A program, if you're in the first year of the 8A program, you have to submit the letter that SBA 8A Business Development Center sends you, letting you know that you've been accepted into the 8A program. Beta.certified will not build and hold 8A application documents. So although you submitted all these documents and certified for the 8A program, you still have to go to beta.certified.sba.gov and upload the documents. You don't have to go through the application process, but you do need to go upload the documents that is requested. Participant accepted in the program prior to existence. So if we're not going to talk about that because it's been a year now, and October 1st been a year. So the new program started October 1st of last year. So we're not going to talk about if you was in the system before this. Certified system that have male ownership, WSB. So if there's a male, like I was stating, if there's a male in the company that owns any more than 20%, there has to be the woman in the company has to state that she is the one that makes the decision towards the company. So if there's a construction company and is a male and female owned construction company, the female has to do documentation and state in the operating agreement that she's the one that makes the final decision on everything that goes on with that company. Proof of citizenship. Designated owner name change document is applicable. CVE letter. I keep forgetting to Google, put that in there. What it is. All business documents, including financials for applicants seeking ED. So like I stated, for EDWOSB, you must submit taxes and you must submit your profit and loss and balance sheet. That's what it's called, a financial statements. How the WOSB, once you get WOSB certified, how that works. To be eligible for a sole source is when you're on, it used to be called FBO, but now it's located in SAM. And then we have another program, the SBA, that is through SBA. It's called Bid Speed. If you're on either one of those databases and you see something that says source is SALT or pre-solicitation, that means the federal government is doing a marketing analysis. They have not designated whether they're going to set it aside for an 8A firm, just a small business, HUBZone, veteran-owned firm. So at that time, if you see an offer out there that say pre-solicitation or sources SALT, please express interest, because if it's 2 or more woman-owned small business that express interest in that solicitation, they will set it aside for a woman-owned small business. And if you are a woman-owned small business and you are the only one who could do that solicitation, you can get it as a sole source. Or you can actually go to Fort Jackson or Shaw Air Force Base, Joint Base Charging if you're here in South Carolina, and you can actually get them to set aside, if you go out there and do a capability brief, you can actually get them to set aside whatever they have for a woman-owned small business if you are the only woman-owned small business that can do the job. That's how sole source works. That means no one else. That means no one will know about that contract but you in the contract office. That's how sole source works. That means you went out and you did the legwork and you got that contract. To compete for WOSB and EDWOSB set aside, the firm must be certified. You can go after a contract based off the premises that you have submitted your WOSB certification. But if the award comes through and you have not, and they will not award you that contract until they actually have the actual certification from SBA saying that you are WOSB or EDWOSB certified. Do everybody understand that? Any questions about that part?
And so there is a question
Hmm?
in the chat box. There is one question in the chat box.
Okay.
This particular person wants to know how long you have to be in business before applying for certification. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
For WOSB, you can be in business a day. There's no limit to for WOSB certification in order to be certified as a WOSB or EDWOSB. The only program that we have that has a time frame on it is the 8A program. So all our other designated programs, preferential programs, you do not have, there's not a time limit or time restriction on that in order to be certified. So if you are in existence today, you can actually apply for the Woman-Owned Small Business today or tomorrow, whenever you're ready for it. There's not a timeline on the 8A program. Any more questions before I move forward? Especially on the part about getting contracts as a WOSB, EDWOSB. Did everybody understand what I was talking about when I talked about that, when I mentioned that?
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Where do we find the government contracts available?
There, it used to be FBO, now it's located on sam.gov. If you go to SAM, I will go there in a few minutes because I only have 3 more slides to go over. I will go to sam.gov and show you the where to find offers, but you can go to sam.gov, and there's also another program called Bid Speed that a lot of people, even myself, are finding more user friendly than sam.gov and FBO, because when they revamped the program, it's not very user friendly to me. I'm learning, I'm still learning, but it's not very user friendly to me, and I'm navigating toward Bid Speed. But I will show you in just a moment. Like I say, I have 3 more slides to go through, talk about WOSB, and I will show you how to go look for opportunities on sam.gov. Like I stated, self-certification remains for subcontracting credit goal purposes. So if you are you're not trying to be a prime on a contract, you can get it as you can do self-certification. And WOSB, you have to be, in order to go after a prime contract, which means you're the person that has the contract, you have to be WOSB certified. But as a subcontractor, you don't have to be WOSB certified. But if you're trying to get the designation, or if you're in a contract, or sometime in contracts, they state that you have to have a woman-owned small business, which means they must be certified. So you can hire a woman-owned company, but you won't get the designation or the benefit of a woman-owned small business unless they are already certified by SBA. Joint ventures. WOSB does not review joint ventures. SBA does not review joint ventures anymore. I know we used to review our 8A joint ventures, but now SBA do not review joint ventures anymore. We do. We have a mentor protege program. That's a mentor is a large firm by SBA standard when it comes to NAICS code, and a large firm partnering together. They review that, and you can do a joint venture off of a mentor protege, but you can also do a joint venture, but SBA no longer reviews joint ventures. I will send these slides to Benita, and she will send them out later. So you can click on the hyperlink for the SBA employee using the resource guide. We have our own resource guide. Each state have their own resource guide, or each district office have their own. That's more tailored to South Carolina. So if you have, you want to know what's going on in South Carolina, you're looking for bank, you're looking for resources, it will be in our resource guide, but you can go to our website, sba.gov/SC for South Carolina, and find our resource guide or resources that are available for the South Carolina area. But this resource guide is just the one for woman-owned small business. So you can click on the resource guide, and it talks about the woman-owned small business program. If you have any issues with or you have any questions, here's the contact information or the email address for the woman-owned small business program. You can always email them, or you can email myself. Like I said, I have a contact there. If I can't solve the problem, I can reach out to him and he can help me out. So make sure you write these email address down. And this is our office contact information. Carl Face and myself and Stephanie, we're all BOSs. We are, our mission is the same thing. We all work towards assisting small businesses with federal contract. Michael Corp, who is now our triple D, but he also came from the BOS side of the house. He was also a contracting officer. Carl, Stephanie, and Mike, all three were contracting officers in the military, in the Air Force. I do not have contracting background, but I've been doing this enough that I can answer, I would say 95, 98% of any question that you have about contracting or getting certified. Well, I can answer 100% question coming getting certified. But when it comes to federal contracting, I don't have all the answers, but I have 3 people that I can reach out to in the office that can assist us or assist me if I can't answer a question that you may have. Please write down our contact information. So if you have any questions and issues, or you just need me to assist you, please email me or call me so we can set up a meeting, and I'll be more than happy to assist you with any questions that you may have.
Angela, we've got another question in the chat box.
Okay.
And that question is, are there any tax benefits to this certification?
No, ma'am. This is sam.gov. It's going to require me to log in. You have to create a login and password. Come on, there you go. Here's where you go to search for opportunity to see what's out there. You can put your NAICS code in here. I don't know what this is. And these are all the opportunities that's ever been submitted into the FBO or the system. I always ask for the most updated one. All these are old. Let me look at 236. I want to find something that says sources sought of WOSB. This right here is a sources sought. If you 236220 is a construction. You can actually come down here and do set aside. You just want contracts that's only set aside for woman-owned small business. And it would give you all the contracts. Here's one right here under the NAICS code 236220. And it's important, make sure you take that account. It's in Portland, Oregon. It's the same one. I don't see any. Let me see. Pre-solicitations of sources sought. Notice type. Sources sought. They don't have any recent sources sought under the NAICS code. But this is what you do when you're trying to look for opportunities. You put your NAICS code in there, and then you narrow it down. You can narrow it down to places performance. You can narrow it down to South Carolina. If you're looking for opportunities just in South Carolina, which I don't recommend because sometimes the pool could be narrowed down too far where there's no opportunities there. As you can see, there's no opportunity for any sources sought for woman-owned small business set aside. But if you're just looking for, we're going to take South Carolina out there. We're just going to look for woman-owned small business sources sought all over the country. And as you can see, there are 26 results out there for sources sought for a woman-owned small business. So this is what you look for. If you are in IT, it tells you the designation is a woman-owned small business, is a WOSB set aside. So only women. If you have the NAICS code 541519, is in Fort Sam, Houston. Only women can bid on this contract right here. And if you're interested in, if this is your NAICS code, the 541519, the response date is November 24th at 12 p.m. Central Standing Time, which means that's 1 o'clock our time. So that's very important. I'm glad I looked at this, because I know one of my 8A firms or one of my firms couldn't submit a contract, or couldn't submit his proposal because he was a second late or a minute late. They are very stickler for time and date. If they say 12 o'clock Central Standard Time, that means 12 o'clock, not the door. It has to be stamped, because there's a stamp. It has to be stamped before 12 o'clock on the 24th. That's the day before Thanksgiving. Yeah, Thanksgiving 25th. So if you see an opportunity out there and you're bidding on an opportunity, please make sure you meet the deadline. Because if you don't, no matter how good your proposal is, they're not going to even look at it if you do not have it in and it's not stamped by the contracting officer before the 12 o'clock deadline. Any questions? Anything else I can show you? Ms. Robin, did that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
We do have two other questions in the chat. One person said that they completed their WOSB application in October, and it said it could take up to 90 days. Is that typical?
Yes. They ask you to allow that amount of time. Like I say, you submitted in October. Have you received an email or a letter in the email saying that they have got all your documents? You can open up your mic if you have it, or you can put it in the chat.
She put in the chat that it's pending.
Okay, it's pending. Oh, so that means that they're still reviewing it. But yes, ma'am, it could take up to 90 days for you to get a notification to get an answer back on it, confirmation or a denial back on it. But right now, if it's still under review, if it's gone past the 15 days, that means they have all the documentation that they needed. So the 90-day process have started. But like I stated, please take into consideration that we are upon holiday season. That's what I call a holiday season, because we are getting ready to go through a lot of holidays. And if you're like me, you have a lot of use or lose. I try to save mine up. You have a lot of use or lose that you have to use before the end of the fiscal year.
And is that 90 business days?
Let me look back at my slides before I say yes. It just say 90 days. Give me just a second. It just say 90 days process. It does not say business or calendar days. Oh, yes, it does say 90 calendar days. So that includes Saturday and Sunday.
Thank you, ma'am. And the next question, they would like for you to talk a little bit more, if you can, about specific advantages and disadvantages of having this type of certification. So mostly focusing on benefits.
Yes, ma'am. This wasn't part of my slides, but SBA designate not SBA, the federal government has mandated that 23% of all dollars that are spent with the federal government when it comes to contracting is spent on small businesses. Then they break that 23% down. I know last week we talked about the 8A program. 5% of that 23% has to go through 8A program, and another 5% has to go through woman-owned small business. So when it comes to the end of the fiscal year, because we work on fiscal year and not calendar year, when it comes to the end of the fiscal year, 5%, a lot of businesses or a lot of federal agencies are trying to get 8A, or they have a designation for 5%. So they're trying to find, because they have a goal they have to meet. So the woman-owned small business goal is one of the goals that they are short every year. And that's because there's not a lot of certified woman-owned small business. And if they're certified, they don't have the particular NAICS code that the federal government is looking for. So the benefit of being WOSB certified is when you're going after a contract, that's one thing that you dangle in front of their face. I am a woman-owned small business and I can do this right here. So that's the benefit of being a woman-owned small business, because they are looking for, like I say, Not every federal agency, some federal agencies have a higher goal than 5%, but with SBA or the federal government only mandates 5%. Some office goals are like 10% or 7%, but they never meet those goals. And the other two for HUBZone and Service Able Veteran, which I will talk about next week, each one of those are 3%. You don't have to have any of those designations in order to do federal contract work, but if you're trying to make yourself more profitable, I will encourage you, because it's free. It's time consuming, but it's free. I will encourage you to get your designation as a woman-owned small business. So when you decide that it's time for you to sit down and have a capability brief with a contracting officer, you can dangle that carrot in their face. I am a woman-owned small business, and I have this designation or this certification, and I can do this for you. And that's the benefit of being a woman-owned small business. Did that answer your question?
There's another question here, Angela. When is the end of the federal government funding year?
September the 30th. We go from October the 1st to September the 30th. So around July 1st, when it starts our last quarter of the year, we have people contracting out. Well, right now we still don't have we don't have a budget right now. So come January, if we're on a continuing resolution until the 4th of December. So come January, all the contracts that they've been trying to fill, that's when I will encourage you to start looking at going to contracting officers at that time, because we've had this first quarter right now, we really hadn't spent any money because we really hadn't gotten a budget. So there are opportunities sometimes. I mean, you can go into USA Spending. Let me see if I can get to that. USA Spending is another website I encourage people to use. So if you have never done federal contract work, and you're trying to see what the federal government is buying, USA Spending is the website that I encourage or talk to people about using all the time. If you go to USA Spending, go with advanced search, and I always tell people to look at the last 5 fiscal year. Then you put your NAICS code in there. NAICS code. You can type it in 236220. I can't think of anything else right off the top of my head. Then search. This right here might not have been a good example because federal government is always looking for construction, because I put in 236220. But if you put your NAICS code in there, you can narrow it down by type of set aside. You can do woman-owned small business set aside. Submit search. And it would narrow it down to set aside that was just for woman-owned small business. So you can look and see what the federal government has bought or is buying. This one right here is one that ends in 2022, in April of 2022. So if you are in construction, I will look at this contract right here, and I will find out who is in Texas. I think this firm is out of Texas. FPDS is another website I use. I will, if you all need assistance with this, I can assist you. So you can go to FPDS. I hate doing this way. I think I did that one time before. And look for this opportunity. Because in FPDS is where you can find who the contracting officer is. Here on USA Spending don't have the contracting officer on here. Or do it have it on here? Parent award, no. Agency detail. This contract was awarded by the Air Force, so you can go to the contracting officer out of at the Air Force Base or Department of the Air Force Base in Texas, because it was awarded out of Texas. But I use USA Spending. I have to find it. I don't want to keep, like last time, hold everybody up with trying to find out or determine. Going through trying to figure out which one of these codes I need to use. But if you find a contract that's expiring, you can reach out to the contracting officer, and you can, okay, I see this contract is expiring in April 2022. That gives yourself 6 months to get a proposal together to take to them about this particular contract. And that's how you do a capability brief to the contracting officer. You found a contract that's expiring or that has expired, and then you pitch your, if they don't have, they may be planning on redoing it or issuing a contract to this particular firm again. You can go to that firm because that's the firm information right there. You can go to that firm and see if they need a subcontractor. Sometimes they do, but you can always use USA Spending to find opportunities that are available or that is expiring or that has expired, and see if the federal government still have a need for it. Like this one right here, it expired in January 2020. I don't know if they renewed that contract, but if it's something that you think you are interested in, that you can do, that you can perform, you can always go to the contracting officer and say, I see this contract expired last year and I can do this type of work. Are you interested? Can I do a capability brief for you?
There was a question, Angela, in the chat box that asked for how to determine whether or not it would be beneficial for them to get the certification. I think you pretty much answered that going over USA Spending, but if not, you're welcome to unmute yourself and ask for additional clarification. There is another question in the chat, which is a good one. What's the NAICS code? Can you talk a little bit about what a NAICS code is?
Yes, ma'am. The federal government, we don't. I keep forgetting this website.
And while Angela is pulling that information up, we can also work with you at the SBDC to help you determine your NAICS code. So if you have questions or concerns about that, you're welcome to reach out to us as well.
The federal government do not classify what you do by a name. They determine what you do, your industry that you work in, by a 4 to 6 digit code. So whatever it is that you do, like I was talking about construction, 236220, that's how the federal government classified what it is that you do. Can Miss Robin, what did I see your name? You're still unmuted. What industry are you in?
Chiropractic. I just looked it up and my code is 621310.
Chiropractic office. You can put in chiropractor in here. Let me see what do I have to get. You can put in a name if you don't know the chiro.
CHIROPRACT.
I had a senior moment.
It's okay.
Chiropractor. Gave me the same thing. You can type in a word or a name, or you can type, if you, because I normally Google, but you can type in a word or a name, and it give you, type in a name or a word, or you can type in the NAICS code if you have it. But North American Industry Classification Code is just a code designated for your industry. So you're looking for, you have this website, Benita.
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Okay. Benita can send this website out to you, because I always tell people, after you Google and find your NAICS code, please put it into this system to determine if it's exactly what you do. Because sometimes you can put in, let me see, what could I put in? Counselor. There are many types of counselors. Law counsel, well, law firm. Let me see, some people put in human resource. These are some of the things that you do. So make sure when you're trying to determine, although you may Google, when you try and determine what it is, what industry or your NAICS code, please put it into this system, because it give you a definition of what it is that, the job description. Because when you're looking at FBO or Fed bid speed, you see a NAICS code or you see an opportunity. Where am I? Where's Sam at? When you're looking at opportunities in here, what was that? 541-612. It may not be a lot of opportunities for counselors. Oh, I was wrong. When you read the statement of work, make sure you read. So if you know, I'm on the human resource. When you're looking at the statement of work, this one actually ended today. There are some attachments. So make sure, just because it has your NAICS code, make sure you review and read the statement of work, because it gives you a great description. It might be a lot, it might be many pages, but it gives you a description of what they're actually looking for. They're just not looking for an HR person, human resource consulting company. They give you in the statement of work exactly what your job will be if you get that contract, if you go after that contract. So a lot of people see their NAICS code and they think, okay, I can do that, but they don't read the entire statement of work. The entire statement of work will tell you exactly what you will be doing, how long you will be doing, and what you'll be doing, who you'll be doing it for. So you probably have to hire more people. And in this particular one right here, if this is your NAICS code on the human resource, this is the person that, these are the people that you contact if you're interested in this. Well, it expired. Solicitation updated today. When is the, December the 3rd. You have to December the 3rd to go after this solicitation at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So if this is what you're interested in, this is how you research and go after contracts. Any more questions?
I don't see any in the chat box, but there is one thanking you for sharing all of this information. I echo those sentiments.
Thank you.
If anyone else has questions, you're welcome to ask them at this time.
So I had a question.
Okay.
Sorry, okay. So, can you have more than one of those codes for your business?
Yes, ma'am. You can have every last one of them if you can perform them.
Okay.
I'm being serious. If you can perform like construction.
Yes.
Construction have many different NAICS codes. You have a main NAICS code or your primary NAICS code, which means construction 236220 is institutional and commercial and institutional build. That's not building homes. You can also have the one for building home. I think it's 238 something. I can't remember. But there's also a plumber, HVAC, electrician. You can include all those NAICS codes because 236220 does not encompass all those NAICS codes. So with HR, if you do HR, if you're legal, you do what's the thing? I can't think of what's called now. Do stamp seal. What is it called? I can't think. But whatever you do, if you include all those, you don't just have to have one. Include everything that you do. If you do IT, if you do coding, if you do writing programs, include all those NAICS codes. Don't just do you an IT person. Make sure you include everything, because I know I just did accept the offer for one of my 8A firms, and he didn't have the particular NAICS code that he was going after. I just shot him a quick email, told him he had, because it takes 24 to 48 hours for SAM to update your NAICS code. So if you see an opportunity on there that you don't have the NAICS code on, or you go do a capability brief with a contracting officer and you don't have that NAICS code, it takes 24 to 48 hours to update the NAICS for the NAICS code to update. And in 24 to 48 hours, a contracting officer can move on to someone else. So anything that you think that you can do, you can subcontract out, because when you do subcontracting, you're as a service, because if anything other than construction is considered a service, you're allowed to subcontract 50% of that out. So that means 50% of the employees have to be on your payroll. The other 50% you can subcontract it out.
Great. Thank you so much. That's really helpful.
You're welcome. Any more questions?
There is one in the chat box, and they have a pretty specific type of service. So for this one, we may take that question offline. If you'd like to email me or Angela directly, I'll go ahead and pose it, Angela, and you are welcome to give your initial thoughts. They're having trouble pinpointing their NAICS code. There's a lot of businesses that are like theirs, but they provide fuel delivery to customers while they're home or at work on a subscription service for their personal vehicles.
Okay, you can either assist them, Bernita, or they can contact me. I will be tomorrow is a pretty full day for me. I got more classes tomorrow. But my Friday schedule is open. Only have one thing for Friday. So if Bernita cannot get you in and assist you, you can also reach out to me and I can work with you in order to determine to narrow down your NAICS code. I am more than happy to do that. But SBDC is a resource of ours, and you can set up an appointment with her and she can assist you. But if she can't assist you, if you all are still having problems, please reach out to me and I'll be more than happy to help you.
Yeah, absolutely. I just put our office email in the chat box, so you're welcome to send us an email there and we can talk further about trying to help you narrow down that NAICS code. Are there any additional questions? Well, Angela, thank you so much today for another wonderful workshop. Thank you for your time and all of the information that you provided. We hope that you all will be able to join us on December 1st to round out this series and talk more about HUBZone's veteran certification, as well as service disabled veteran certification. You will receive after today's webinar a short survey. So if you have a moment, please take that survey and give us your feedback. We thank you all so much for your time and hope you have a great Thanksgiving holiday. Thank you so much.
Thank you all.